Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Liz and today we have got ourselves a channel update to get out of the way. 'Tis the season to be getting these guys out of the way. There's a lot of changes that come in when the seasons go to changing, and especially with the holidays coming up, there's going to be a lot of differences, a lot of schedule changing, a lot of this, that's, and the others going on, and I'll get into that for each one of the channels. For those of you who didn't know, I have got multiple channels. They're listed down in the description. You can check those guys out. But really quickly, I've got my main channel, which you're currently watching on. I have a VODs channel, Videos on Demand, which is basically my live stream slash clips videos. My live streams, those are actually live. I do those live and they save to the channel. So you might be asking yourself, well, where can I watch you live if this is where you're putting your videos? No, I actually stream those live to YouTube and Twitch. So come on over and visit me there if you like watching live streams and talking in real time. And then I have got my hidden harvest video, which is essentially my gardening. I talk about those sometimes during my videos, during my live streams, and some people seemed interested in the stuff that I was doing out there. They were wanting pictures and stuff, so I created a channel for it. Now, I don't post a whole lot of videos over there. Like, I might do one video a month. I was at one point attempting to do 3 videos a week. That did not hold for very long because my garden is basically something I run outside to do and do it really quick and come back in and record, or I run out in the evening time and do something unless I'm doing like a changeover, which recently happened. I'll get into that in just a minute, in which case I spend hours outside and it's hot and it's sweaty and I'm gross, covered in dirt, and I don't have time to get my camera. I'm just out there trying to get it done as quickly as possible. So I do videos probably once a month, twice a month, or something like that. So if you're interested in a gardening channel that doesn't slam you with videos every single day talking about the best way to grow a tomato, it's probably a good channel to watch because I show off my plants and I talk about types and stuff like that. That's basically it. So that's all of my channels. I also post main channel content over on Rumble. If you are somebody who feels like you need to diversify platforms, I am also over on Rumble. They are approximately a month behind the main channel. Not intentionally, just I keep forgetting to upload. So they're a bit behind. All of that being said, on the main channel, we have a new series coming out. The Voorhees series for the holidays. As the holidays approach, things go from I have nothing to do and I'm bored all the time to oh my god, I don't have enough time to breathe. And there's not really an in-between. So there might be like the occasional week where I upload 1 or 2 less. There might be where I put up a video that is in my back burner of things. But aside from that, for October, I have my Spooktober videos coming out, so I'm already doing those over on my VODs channel. I'm live streaming them. I have already completed 3 games that will be coming out in October, but it will be the edited version of those games. So definitely check those out. I know not a lot of people join a channel and watch all of their content. Most folks join a channel and watch a specific type of content and ignore everything else. I would like to ask that if you like my humor, if you like my reactions to games and stuff like that, that maybe try out some of my other content. I do have a selection of horror games already on the channel. Maybe take a peek at those. There are some pretty old ones on there, like 7 years old now. I have grown a bit since then and learned quite a bit more about editing and talking and things like that, so don't hold it against me. But there are other things besides 7 days on the channel if you guys are interested. Let's see, I've had some people asking me what kind of content basically I will be doing, what's being taken out, what's going to be added in. Obviously 7 days is staying, you know, because everybody likes 7 days, though I will be doing modded content. I typically do 2 playthroughs of vanilla. It'll be like base vanilla version, and then I'll do a modified vanilla version, like I'll play on a different type of settings, and then I'll play it that way. Not this time. I don't really want to play a vanilla version. There's some mods that I'm running on this newest series to give it a different feel, especially for Halloween coming up and things like that, and I will probably also be checking out some other mods. There are some mods that have come a long way and I am very interested in trying those guys out. I do apologize. That means that some people who are watching that are playing console versions that will probably not be so interested in playing or watching me play modded content because I don't have that ability. Though I will say on the Voorhees series, there are some mods that I'm running that are not necessary for you to play the same way that I do. It's mostly settings. The other stuff is just kind of flavor. So maybe check it out. Like I said, I do apologize to those who are on consoles. I know that you guys don't have mods. You can't even change the version of the game that you're playing, and that sucks. And I do apologize. I shouldn't feel the need to apologize, but as a content creator for the game, I feel like I should in some way, because in a lot of ways, these questions are not being answered for you guys. I know that there's one question that I have seen like 5 or 6 times, and I don't think it's ever been answered by the Fun Pimps, so I'll just throw out an answer here for those of you who are here watching this. If you are on consoles and you're wondering why you keep losing your world between saves, everybody does. It's not just consoles. Whenever our version went from Alpha 20, 22, all of those, version 1, version 2, whenever the new version comes out and you upgrade to it, you lose your saves. Most saves won't go between one version and the other version because the way they tag things in their files, the way they change things, just the versions are not compatible anymore. You would have to roll back in order to play those versions, and sadly you guys can't roll back. I don't know if they ever intend to add that feature or if they're going to add mod support. I have heard nothing about it. And I know a lot of people have asked. They've also been asking for optimization on the consoles, and so far, even on PC, we haven't seen optimizations. So I don't know, and I have seen nothing about it. Okay, on to other stuff. Surrounded is staying on the channel for a while because I am very much enjoying the game, so expect more content. I don't know whether or not I will be doing shorter videos with doing 1 or 2 things, or if I will do like a longer video like I did with the hotel version, where I went through the entire hotel and condensed it all into one video, a slightly longer video. That actually took me almost 3 hours to record that one video. So I might be dividing it up into several different ones, but that means more uploads. And I'm not sure how I feel about that being on the channel. You guys let me know down in the comment section if you were someone who is enjoying it Surrounded and would like to see more episodes. That way I can show you more of what's going on and less overall this is everything that happened. I'm not sure how people like seeing that video, that game, as far as the edits go, whether or not you would rather see more stuff. There is interesting loot in that game, so showing more of what I pick up or find is sometimes more interesting to see instead of editing past all that in favor of getting to see the whole hotel in one video. Like I said, you guys let me know. I also did that with the build. The build took me a while, and I'm not done with the build. I'm enjoying it, so I will be building more, but I condensed it all into one video. You guys let me know if you would rather see that spaced out over a couple of videos and get more details about what I did or how I did it. The deep dive series that I have been working on, I know it's, what would be the word to describe what it is that I'm doing? I am over-analyzing the game. Like, I'm taking little pieces out of the game and I'm analyzing it on its own, how it could potentially be realistic or how it's not realistic, how it fits into the game, how the information about that item would actually enhance the lore if it was applied properly. The latest one that I just did was the Screamer. I found out a lot of stuff about this whole screaming situation, and I figured out one thing. The Screamer is underutilized and utilized poorly by the game. And by that, I mean, this isn't really a deep dive, and I probably should have included this information with the deep dive, but I'm hoping I don't have to... What's the best way to phrase this? If I provide the information, the background information, and the studies having to do with the things that I have found, maybe the person who is responsible for immersion and cohesion in the game will see them and say, with this information, how does that change it? How does that add to it? Does that somehow or another make it not work the way it is? that kind of thing. I would prefer not to have to give the answer to that question, but I will do it for this particular video. As far as a Screamer goes, the Screamer should be an intelligent, elite zombie. There should be a couple of different versions of her. She should draw in crowds, not just spawn them in. She should draw in the crowds around her. She should never spawn in with more than one of her. Ever. They actually don't need different versions of her. As far as like whether or not she's a radiated feral or whatever, she should always just be an elite zombie. The white has 2 versions of him. That probably shouldn't be one either. But as far as elite zombies, I mean like a demo, a white. Those guys don't have, or shouldn't, have more than one version of themselves. They should just be elite zombies. Massive, tanky, scary to run into, and she should be one of those. But I don't think that her mechanic of spawning in because of heat should be a thing. I think she should just idly spawn in, and you can evade her and not have a call-in. She should just basically be out in the world like you have the Snowclaw, oh my god, and the Plague Spitter, because she is an elite zombie that exists. I don't think she should be in the Pine Forest, because the Pine Forest is not where she should be located. She should show up probably in the Wasteland, mostly, and maybe in higher tiers. And I don't think she should be there whenever it's low tier, and I think the heat map doesn't work well. And the reason I say that is if your character is on the 5th floor and being quiet has knocked off every single bit of way to even pass the 3rd floor, like the zombies are way far away, there should never be a chance for a Screamer to get called in just because the location gets hot. It's probably not the way it should work. I think she needs a full rework given what we know now about how the screams, the zombies, wavelengths, and everything else work. And this is what I'm talking about with the deep dives. I want to be able to take an aspect of the game and analyze it according to science. I know a lot of you guys who watch this channel also know that I am a Stargate fan. One of the funniest things and funnest things and most exciting things was there was actually a basis in science when it came to them talking about certain aspects of Stargate. They based it on science, whereas Star Trek wasn't really based on science. They used novel concepts and star drives and things like that, but there was a bit of science research that went into Stargate that made it feel more real, even though it was still sci-fi. And I feel like if 7 Days is going for that immersion and that realism, it kind of needs to do the same thing. There needs to be more of a, let's look into the realism of it, and let's find out which part of the realism is useful, good material, and which part we can slide with not actually putting into a game because it's tedious and doesn't need to be included. That discussion kind of sort of needs to happen, and I hope that maybe my deep dives might in some way or another trigger that kind of conversation. So, whereas I could probably do Liz Labs and have people show up while I punch zombies or send zombies through dumb traps, or I can do 10 tips for playing 7 Days, I feel like this is untapped area that actually kind of needs to have this conversation. So I think I'm going to continue on with the deep dives for a little bit longer. If you have any ideas for deep dives, let me know down in the comment section. Moving on about the channel, some things that are not coming back to the channel right this second. I am not going to be playing any more of the Rebirth series because whenever 2.0 came out, I guess the app data file had to have been the one. It was the only one that wasn't getting written over properly. And every time I would go back and forth between the 2 versions of the game, something would corrupt. And I was afraid by way of going back and forth, one or both of the games would wind up corrupting, and I had to drop the series that was older. So that one is put on the back burner. I will be going back, hopefully, in this version after Rebirth updates. So we'll see. And I think I pretty much covered what's coming to the main channel. I think I already covered this, but I've actually shot this video like 3 times. I wound up talking for an hour, so I wanted to cut this video back down and just try and stick to subjects. For Halloween, I will be taking several series that I've done on the VODs channel bringing them over to the main channel and having them edited. So we'll have like a Spooktoberfest type of thing with those types of videos, and there might be other videos that are holiday related coming out as well. But if you're interested in seeing those guys live, check out the VODs channel. We will be finishing up our Halloween stuff here shortly. I think I've got 2 more games, maybe, that are coming up on the live stream, and then I'll edit those and bring those in on YouTube. I mean, not on the VODs channel, and then on the main channel is what I meant. So the main channel obviously will be edited. The VODs channel, you'll be able to see all of it and be able to interact. Plus we have sound alerts, so if you want to spook me in the middle of all of that and pick on me, because that's what tends to happen, especially if I get stuck in one of these video games, there's that. Also, along with all of these other channels, my Hidden Harvest channel, I've pretty much already covered that one, I'm sure. I just swapped over to fall crops, and I'll be doing another update video very soon, but it is the fall time. There's not a whole lot of growing. There's going to be a little bit of harvesting. There's going to be taking care of chickens, but it's still probably going to be around a video a month or so. Last year, I started a what if series. Basically, I what if certain aspects of life. What if this is true, then what do we do? What if this is true, what do we do? How do we counteract this thing? Kind of like a prepper meets let's overanalyze this thing. Like I jokingly talked about what if Krampus is real and went through that whole scenario last year on the Hidden Harvest video, and it was fun to do, so I might do a couple of those. It's basically a deep dive style video, but for random things that are interesting. So if you have any ideas for that, let me know down in the comment section or over there on that channel. If you happen to be interested in gardening, I don't post that often over there, so you're not going to get inundated with a whole bunch of content that you probably don't normally watch as far as gardening goes. I just post the occasional video of whatever it is I'm doing, the occasional video of this is what my garden looks like right now and what I've got growing. We are currently in the process of demolishing something in the yard, and after all of it's done, I'm going to do a condensed video of all of that demolition, because some people just like demolition videos, so I'll be covering that too. As far as I know, that's all that's going on with the Hidden Harvest video. There's usually not a whole lot to cover during the fall. It won't be until February to March, somewhere around there, when I start my seeds for next year, but at one point we will be ordering seeds, so I'll probably talk about that on that channel. There you go for that one. As far as all of the channels together, I am hoping to get to 1,000 subscribers over on my VODs channel, so if you haven't subscribed and you like watching content that is live or clips, if you like watching the little clips feeds or whatever, consider subscribing over there so we can get that place up to 1,000. But between all of my channels, I have memberships. Hidden Harvest doesn't have memberships. We don't have it that big. Plus, I don't know whether or not I want to do memberships over there, because it's just kind of a... I occasionally put a video up there. It's not that big of a channel, but I have memberships on my 2 main channels, the VODs channel and the main channel. And if you're wondering what you get whenever you become a member, you get access to a channel on my Discord where we can chit-chat with each other. If you are a member on my VODs channel, whenever I go live, you are able to play along with me if I'm playing a multiplayer game. If we have a server going, then you're allowed to get into the servers. Now, I don't necessarily adhere to keeping servers regularly, and the reason being is 7-day servers, because of how much RAM the game uses, are highly expensive. Like $80 a month expensive. And I know some people are probably like, oh, $80 is not that much. Whenever you think about the fact that you can only have 12 people in the server, that's a lot of money for not a whole lot of people being able to join in. And the reason why I say that is in comparison Minecraft. Now, I know Minecraft is a lot less intensive. You can get 100 people in a server that's like a quarter of the cost. So I don't like having a 7-day server. It's a huge cost, and blessedly, there is somebody currently covering it. Otherwise, there would be no server going on. We haven't had very many people get into the server since 2.0 came up, and I'm actually considering that maybe if they want to, they can change over to a different game. So I think that discussion's probably going on, or a mod is going to be run. The Alpha 16 mod is probably going to be run on the server at some point. But if you want to be in on the information, in on access and all that stuff, memberships or Patreon is the way to go. And if you want to be a member of both channels, the main channel and the VODs channel, I would recommend Patreon. It covers both. It also covers Hidden Harvest. So if you're wanting to be involved in that, there's also a plan on there in case you want to involve you and your spouse. It's one, so your spouse doesn't have to have an extra account to do so. There's that. But what other things that you get? I know I'm having to sell and I'm bad at sales. So the other thing that you also get is you get early access to certain series that are going on. I just finished up chapter 2 of Skyrim. For those of you who are upset because I said that I'm giving patrons access to videos or whatever, the videos do eventually come to the main channel. I'm not sectioning off content for pay-per-view type of things. It will eventually come to the main channel, but the entire series will be done before I bring it to the main channel. Like, I finished all of Skyrim, that chapter of Skyrim, and then started adding it to the list of uploads. The next series that we're working on is Project Zomboid, and it's just me learning to play the game. Like, I've watched people play, but knowing what the buttons are, how to maneuver your character, when you go from a first-person or a third-person setting, going to tank controls on an isometric type of setting, it is way different learning how to do combat and knowing what settings do what and everything else like that. So I'm learning. And rather than learning and then making a series out of it, I am bringing people along while I'm learning. So that is what I'm actually uploading for patrons and members now. And you're not too far away. You're not going to miss a whole lot. Only the first episode has gone up. And if you become a member or a patron, you have access to that immediately. You don't have to wait for it to come to the channel. You'll already have access to it. You haven't missed it. So, yeah, I would appreciate it. And I just appreciate you guys being here. But if you're wanting to do that little bit extra towards the channel and keep the lights going and everything else like that, that would be amazing. Plus, you get extra access. And aside from being able to play video games with me IRL, you also get access to various points in Discord that other people do not get access to. And I chill there a lot. I chill in Discord a lot. I might go like 2 weeks without climbing into Discord, and then I'll be in there every single day, all hours of the day, typing, talking. The main Discord, we have, I'll link it down in the description. The main Discord, we've got a lot of different spots where people can talk about a lot of different types of games. We've got a spot where you can talk about gardening. We've got a spot where you can just show what you're cooking. And there are a lot of really good looking plates. Now I'm getting hungry again. I need to stop thinking about that. Anyway, the Discord is cool to hang out with. Plus, I do a whole lot of updating over there. Like, if something's going on, if there's an issue with something going on, if there's a new series I'm having contemplations about, if I'm looking for something in particular that I think maybe you guys know, or if you guys are looking for something in particular, maybe there's somebody in the Discord that can help. So if you're interested, the Discord's link is in the description. If you are an individual who is on the older side and does not understand how Discord works and what all you need to do, there's no reason to be embarrassed and not join. Join up and say, hey, I'm new and I have no idea what it is I'm doing. Someone will help, I promise you. We have got a few people that just kind of chill there a lot, either in that Discord or other Discords, so chances are there'll be somebody there to help you, and if not, towards the evening time when I check it out, I will be there to help you. So yeah, there's no sense in not joining up because you're just not used to using it. I can help you out. We can help you out. We can help you figure out Discord, because there's a lot of content creators out there who have Discords where you can get a lot of information about it. And if you haven't learned how to use Discord yet, my Discord is a good place to figure it out. So come on over. There are a couple of things missing from my description, since I'm already covering everything in my description about my different channels and everything. Obviously, I posted about this in my last deep dive, that I am on X, which is Twitter, and I talk politics over there. and other random stuff. So if you're not the political type, or if you get butthurt over politics, don't follow me. Because my opinion might differ from yours. Everybody has different opinions. Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one. So that's there. Then I also have my Rumble, which I covered, and we're pretty far behind on Rumble. I'm like a month, 2 months behind on my Rumble. I'm trying to get it caught up. It will happen. There's a couple of missing things. I no longer have a P.O. box listed, and I no longer have a merch store listed because my merch store, I sold 4 things, maybe. It wasn't worth me paying to keep the store open, and I've actually thought, since every year I have people asking me, can I get such and such whenever I start talking about my gardening stuff, especially during live streams. I'm like, well, I actually don't have a way I could. And then it occurs to me, I had a merch store. I closed it. There's no point in having it. If I would have set up a regular store that also sold merch, I could also sell things from my garden. Like if I get an overabundance of loofah, because I overplanted loofah. And there might be people out there that wouldn't mind having some loofah for Christmas to give to family members or something like that, and I could just sell the extra. You know, something like that. Or if I have something that grew really well and there's people around my area that might want to have seeds from something I grew, and I could send it to them. You know, things like that, just random things. So if I create some things, if I crochet some things, or whatever, if there's different things that I want to be able to offer people, then I will be able to do that. But I can't do that with just a merch store. Like Spring doesn't offer the ability to do like handmade items or anything else like that. So it's on the list. It's just really low on the priority list for me right now. I think that covered everything. Every time I do one of these, I feel like I'm forgetting something because typically I record them more than once because I'll start babbling about random stuff. And then I was like, you know, I just babbled for 30 minutes and I don't know where it started and I don't know if I ever reached a point, so I'll try over again. Oh, and there's also another question. I've been asked this a few times. I don't really know how to answer this because it's always awkward talking about it. People are asking me about percentages on income, which is an odd topic, but I think some people are asking because they're wanting to donate, and some people are asking because they want to become a content creator. And I always have a hard time answering these questions because I don't know how much the information surrounding content creation has changed over the years. I know that there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I want to be a content creator, and they don't realize how much the market has changed. How best to answer this? If you're a content creator and you're looking for ways to earn income, I would say you need a specific niche that you're wanting to go to, and do not expect any sort of compensation for your time on content creation for a good while. A couple of years. Some people climb into a game at just the right time. They immediately get monetized, they immediately get found, and they immediately start making money. That does not happen for everybody. It doesn't, not even close. And I don't know how else to do that. I don't want to squash anybody's what is it? I don't want to squash anybody's hopes and dreams. If you're wanting to do content creation, to be doing content creation, it's a fun thing to do. As far as becoming one of the rich people or becoming someone who can quit their job or whatever, that it's not something that happens for everybody. It really isn't. The only reason I can do this full time is because my husband works. And there have still been times that I'm like, I think I need to go back to work, because things are getting tough. I just think, as much as I don't want to, I think I need to cut back on my content and just go back to work. And that's probably it across the board. There are a few people who have made it over that hump and are okay and taken care of just from revenue from their videos or whatever going up because of monetization on their channel or whatever. But not every person is like that. In a lot of cases, some of us have to rely heavily on patrons and memberships and things like that. And if they don't get that, and people's stuff changes. The The patronship, I'm trying really hard to do this without cringing because I'm talking about money in the middle of an update video. But I get this question a lot, and I feel like I can go ahead and answer it and get it off the board so I can cite back. If your content is, you have a niche group, and I say niche because, okay, as far as my content goes, I have got a very odd sense of humor. I know that. I'm okay with that. It's a very dry sense of humor. I'm not exactly PG, and I'm a female, an older female. I'm in video games, and I'm not conventional, but I'm not outlandish either. Like, I don't wear pink hair and all kinds of craziness or whatever to gain more attention. I'm just me in a video, and that doesn't really appeal to everybody, and I'm okay with this. My feelings were hurt for like 5 minutes. But no, it's really not actually. There's a certain type of niche that I fit into. And if you are a niche content creator, you probably won't make enough money on your videos to live on. You just won't. You might have a few courageous, crazy folks out there that might become a member or a patron, but members and patrons can only be there for you when the economy is good. And if the economy isn't, or if their stuff changes, like they lose a job, they lose a house, they're dealing with, well, family stuff, they're dealing with life. The person that they occasionally watch on YouTube might not be the top priority for them. So if you are going to wind up being a niche content creator, don't start the game, the YouTube stuff, with the intention of being able to live off of it. There are some people who kick it off and immediately get monetized, like I said, but it doesn't happen for everybody. So be very careful, stick with your job, slowly work on your stuff. You will eventually find your niche, you will eventually find your crowd, and then it will be okay. But just have realistic expectations. And as far as the monetization, I basically answered that. If your channel is geared towards a large audience, there's a couple of things that might be a large audience. If you talk politics and you're on one side or the other side, which seems to be a very popular thing nowadays, that side will probably follow you if you've got something worth saying. If you're talking tips videos, as long as you're covering a lot of different games and the tips are very useful, you might appeal to a large audience. But if you're covering one game, one types of tips, if you're doing let's plays are probably not the best way to pull new people in, so your crowd is going to be small. And it's going to be isolated to your demographic, whatever your age group is, how many of those people are playing, how many people are playing the type of game that you have, how often it updates, whether or not an update bombs, things like that. These are all things to think about. If you are like a dude playing shooter games or whatever, and you're like an average everyday gamer or whatever, there's like 500,000 people on the internet doing the same thing. You have to find your niche, your thing, the thing that you do that's not the same as everybody else. And not everybody has one specific thing, or it might take years for you to find it. So if you are going to do some sort of type of monetization, understand that your channel has to grow to a certain amount. You have to have a certain amount of watch hours, and then your channel can be monetized. But after your channel is monetized, understand that you won't make a ton, and until you crest $100 in 1 month, you won't see your first check. And sometimes that takes a while. You might get especially at the beginning, you might get like $99 in a month. Well, guess what? If you didn't hit that 100, YouTube keeps that. So yeah, be very careful about that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I learned. If you're a smaller content creator and you have your niche and you know where you're kind of going with it, Patreon is probably the best thing to set up early, because people who believe in you, believe in your brand, and believe in what you're doing in any way, if they become a patron and they stick around for a while, those are going to be the ones that the veterans of your patronage. I have got one member that has been around since RimWorld, and it has been years, and I value him because he is he stuck through changing I don't know how many games, but it does not matter what I played. He was still there. He was always like, I believe in your channel. There you go. So you don't find those people very often. So if you get it set up, just like, keep it small, maybe have a Discord they can talk to you about and everything else like that. Just be very careful. Especially if you're a female, do not get sucked into the OnlyFans thing. Don't offer pictures or whatever. I don't think I need to say this, but as a mama bird talking to young content creators, don't do that. That's not the direction you want to go. The low cleavage thing, that's not the way you want to go. Eventually that stuff stops working. That's my only advice. That's all I've got for you. Yeah, that's all I've got. That's the only advice I've got for that one. So I hope that maybe that question doesn't come up again. I think that was the only question. I had quite a few people asking me about my book joke. I think I covered that in a video. Was there anything else? Somebody was asking me about Rebirth. I covered that. Now let's go on to the different stuff that's probably a little bit more tedious to talk about. Life stuff. This has less to do with the channel and more about just life in general. There's a lot of changes going on in the background of what is going on with gaming, computers. Everybody knows about Windows 10 and Windows 11 and all that drama stuff. What you may not know is I've recently just had to replace both hard drives, a hard drive in this one and a hard drive in my other PC. That PC cannot update to Windows 11, which means I'm eventually going to have to, and by eventually I mean rather soon, going to have to replace that or simply turn it off and start editing over here, but that's neither here nor there. That stuff happened. Another thing that's recently happened is my mom was in the hospital and had her surgery, and then she came back out, and then she had a complication, and she went back in. A power pole in my backyard fell over. That took a whole week, and my daughter announced a little while ago that she is moving, so it will officially be all of my children are adults and moved out. Which, if you're a mom, you probably understand this, but I've got a little bit of an empty nest thing going on, and I'm still dealing with that. She's moving this upcoming weekend, and I'll be dealing with all of that, and then possibly the repercussions of how I feel about it next week. So that's all the stuff that I've had to deal with. I know it doesn't really mean a whole lot for people who are just here wanting to see 7 days, but understand that now all of this stuff has shifted, and by the way, my mom is fine. She's feeling better now, or at least that's what she keeps telling me. I don't know if she just did that so I quit sassing the ladies at the nurse's station. I felt bad, but at the same time, I just wanted an answer. They could have saved so much trouble. I just wanted an answer. I was stressed. I needed to know. Anyway, I think that's probably how a lot of people feel about it, and all of that on top of the stuff that's going on in the world with the economy the way that it is. Everybody knows that. I don't have to say that. The stuff that went on with the Charlie Kirk situation, I know that's a very sensitive topic, and there's a lot of people dealing with that, and apparently that polarized a whole... Polarized? Polarized. A whole bunch of people, and there was a side of humanity I didn't ever expect to see, except for maybe from like I don't know, someone in a crazy bin or something like that. Anyway, there were some realizations that I had over that week, and it was also while I was dealing with my mom and my daughter and everybody else. It was a very complicated week, so I do apologize. I think I managed to paste over by showing a whole bunch of Skyrim. I don't think I would have been okay to record a whole bunch of stuff, so thank you for being patient with me. Most everything is taken care of. I still have to deal with the PC stuff. I'm putting money back for that to take care of that situation. It needed to be updated anyway because it's like a 10-year-old PC. So let me know down in the comment section if you also have a PC that you cannot update because it is too old. Let me know. That way we can all mourn together. RIP that PC, right? So, yeah, dealing with all of that, then the politics, the economy, and I will just say this, I'm not a political channel. If I was ever going to talk about politics, I would probably put it on Hidden Harvest, or I would put it on X or something like that. But as far as that is concerned, that was a very disturbing thing to have seen, to have witnessed, to have... And I didn't actually see that. I didn't want to, I couldn't. That's just not something. I play gory games, but there's something about visceralness of something such as that that I don't think people are meant to see, even though generations of people have been seeing that. Wars and all kinds of stuff, like the whole evolution of humanity is basically nothing but a long line of wars and everything. And it boggles the mind that people would call for more, or call for it, or celebrate it, or I don't know. It puzzled me to see that. And then I just felt like I lost a bit of, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that feels like they kind of lost that part of your mentality that just assumes people are hoping for the best for other folks, you know? That we are just generally good folks out there doing our best. And yeah, to see that, to see the celebrations, to see it actually happening, to see, I mean, I didn't actually see it happen. I didn't watch a video for some reason that had to go circulating on the internet. To see all of that and to see the celebrating and the still tension that is going on from it, my perspective on people has changed. And I don't think it's ever going to go back. And I had the situation with my daughter, my mom, and that all happening at one time. And I don't think I was the best person to be recording. I am feeling better. I think I say this like somehow or another I was the only one to be feeling that way, and I wasn't. There's a lot of people who have got a lot of opinions on the situation, and I get it. A lot of people have different opinions. Like I said before, opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one, and some people's buttholes are. Let's stop with the butthole analogy. Let's go with a lot of people have varying opinions that have shades of gray to it. Like there's differing opinions. I like this, but I don't like that. And I like this, but only this part of this or whatever, you know, that type of thing. So people are not that kind of static paper cut out of a human. And I think over the course of some of this, I found out some people are just paper cutouts and they don't have any depth to them. And that was something unusual to learn. So I processed this, I think. I'm still working on the whole processing of my daughter moving, and hopefully my mom stays okay and nothing else happens there, because that had me worrying a lot about that situation. But I think things are chill now. The holidays are coming up, and like I said, it's either going to be very slow and I have nothing to do, or very busy and I'm getting invited to all kinds of parties. I never get invited to parties, so it doesn't really matter, but it could still wind up being a whole lot of stuff to do. Because of that, I don't know how videos are going to go during the holidays. I never really know how videos are going to go during the holidays, but I hope I've got enough on my docket to be able to keep you guys entertained. So thank you guys for being here. I do apologize for that little bit at the end. It just felt like it's something I needed to get off my chest a little bit, so you guys kind of understand where my mind was at during these last couple of weeks. Hopefully this is just a slump, you know? That it's just a slump. I think everybody has them. Everybody's dealing with things. Everybody's dealing with it all together or whatever. But yeah. I will see you guys down there in the comment section. You guys let me know what you think about the upcoming scheduling, the changes, and all that kind of stuff like that. And I've already asked a couple of questions, so maybe you guys wrote those down, because I don't currently remember what it was I said I would like information on. Especially since this is my third recording of the same conversation, I don't remember what I said. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the updates. That's covering all of the channels and all of the BS that happened just recently. Like I said, with all of the BS that happened recently, hopefully we're on the other side of the it's been a week, it's been a month, it's been a year type of situation, and the rest of this year will just be coasting. At least that's my goal. So I will see you guys next time. You have a wonderful day and whatnot, and you stay shiny. Bye!